we have a new unboxing video. It is a pseudo temp trade. It is me and someone else going, I want to possibly try your knife, and if both of us want to keep it, we'll trade for it. And as you can tell from the name, well, actually, first, as I unbox this, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, check out the coffee and the donate. It's the donation coffee thing, and a little bit goes a long way. And yeah, here we have a Fellowship Blades box. So I have temp. No, my bit. Okay, so I've temp traded my aluminum GN. My aluminum GN was doing me real good, but I think as my collection goes, something kind of feels like it's got to give. So I have always wanted to try the Fellowship Hognose. In here we have a box. I was trying to figure out what I'm looking at, and it seems that it's 3 phosphor bronze washers. I was like, what is missing? But a single washer missing is not a big deal. This is the Hognose 1.5. You can tell because of the screws on the bottom. It is in the aluminum Fellowship Blades Balisong trainer. Giving this away, it clocks in at 3.32 ounces. That's pretty dang light. So, whoa, okay. This is the Hognose. Funky little dude. I know that Fellowship's... I feel like I get a pulse in the market when I see what Fellowship does. Because apparently Grant said that he was never going to do aluminum trainers, and then he did an aluminum trainer, because I feel like makers always feel pressured by the market. We have this interesting bite indicator, definitely very distinct. Nice sort of texture on the... I guess this is more crowning, but the corners here are rounded. Some jimping here. Let's see how much jimping there is. So it's consistent on both sides. Right now, the texture looks really nice. Press fit Zen pins, T15 hardware. Let's give this a whirl. No, actually, first look at this tolerances. There's a little bit of wiggle. Let me just. I desperately need to clean my desk. T10. Where's my T15 bit? Seriously, where is it? Oh, here you are. Alright, let's just give this a crank. Okay, and... Okay, let's see. Does that fix the play? Oh, much better. Oh, yeah, there's still a little bit of play. Yeah, but that's much more in line, because I felt like my fanning... Huh. Not bad. Funky, though. Whoa! Alright, my initial reaction is, this feels pretty long. It's actually not as long as I thought. The Glider Pacific is actually longer. Significantly so. The Glider Pacific doesn't feel like a... I think part of why it feels long is because it's these really skinny handles and then some weight at the end of it. Here's a Nautilus for comparison. Okay. Yeah, it's just actually like... The Hognose itself is actually relatively small. It's particularly lean. These handles feel very thin. Like, they don't feel like they take up much space at all. And because of all the... Fuck. All the weight is concentrated at the end. The blade doesn't have a lot of weight. Honestly, I have mixed feelings about this blade. At first, when I saw it, I was like, that looks kind of stupid. I thought Hognose was a really stupid name. I didn't realize that Hognose was a kind of snake, and every Fellowship Blades has more or less been like vaguely snake themed in its name. I'm trying to ring. Okay, yeah, the bite indicator is definitely feels prevalent. It does not hurt, thankfully, but it's very prevalent. This is production 2410 stainless steel. I don't know. I just think Hognose is kind of a dumb name, but I don't know. I think the trainer blade is supposed to like look kind of like a Hognose, but I don't know. I know that these are like relatively inexpensive, and Fellowship has started to like push up his prices because the Medusa used to be like $450, and now he's trying to increase the value of the Medusa with like Magnet Cut and some other changes, but now like to $750. I do think the Hognose, from what I remember, is like sub 200 and is like pretty affordable. It's definitely not bad. It's just odd. I don't know. It just feels wow. Yeah, I definitely feel like the screws at the end like just add so much weight, and let's see if I remove it. Let's give that a shot, because I might change my opinion on things, but right now I'm kind of like, this is a little funky and I don't have interest in keeping this. Alrighty. Okay, let's get these screws out of here. Hello, hello. I will say the Hognose feels very nicely machined. The texture is very comfortable. The jimping is effective, unobtrusive, but definitely like deep enough that it's like, it's deep enough, and the grooves are like far enough apart that like I feel its effectiveness, especially for the aluminum. I want to say that I eventually, when I make a review, I'll double check all the materials and the pricings, but for unboxing, I definitely mostly just like, here's my package, let's open it up, and how do I feel about this? Right now, my thoughts are, it's not bad, it's just not super duper desirable. Again, this is the thing about when Fellowship made the Hognose trainer, I go, because all these people started feeling like they had to make channel aluminum Balisongs, or at least aluminum Balisongs, to compete with the market, because what are people able to afford? And I was like, I don't think that's the right move, because you have to do something pretty unique and different in order to make it stand out. This is unique and different, but not in ways that I feel. I might like this more. Whoa. I don't know. I'm not sure I like it with or without. Fuck, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah, it doesn't have the end weight anymore. The end weight did make for certain, whoa, I do like how ladders feel now. The end weight did make it feel like it had, I guess I'll give it away real quick. It did help it give it momentum, but albeit very hot spot with the weight. With no weight screws at the end, it's now 3.17. That's incredibly light. Fuck. I don't know. The Hognose is... I just think the Hognose's proportions are just kind of odd. Like, it's nice, but it's just not really doing anything for me that I feel like I don't already have. Well, it's not even that. It's like I have... There are things that this does not really feel like, in the sense that it's kind of like it's... On one hand, the Hognose is somewhat unique feeling, but in a way that I don't like. And not that I dislike it, it's just that I'm not like... I don't feel like I need this. I do feel like at least you have a choice with whether or not you have the weight screws in or not in. And that's always good. Having options is nice. It's just a very peculiar feeling Bally. Not bad. Not bad at all. Like, oh my goodness. Hello, hello. I think I'll put the weight screws back in as I try other tricks like the aerials and... Nope, that did not parabolic at all. It's just so... It's like, it's really light and it feels just really... I don't know why it feels so long when it's actually not. It's like a pretty small Balisong. Fuck me. But like, it's just... I don't know. I want to like this more than I do. And again, I'm not saying anything that's bad. Like, objectively speaking, the tune is acceptable. You know, it's a pretty solid tune. It is a well-machined Balisong. It's more or less like the design has what you would expect. It's got good jimping. It's comfortable. It's pretty grippy as far as I need it to be, without it, especially not being painful grippy. The trainer blade has a very effective bite indicator, and it's just, I think it's just the proportions. Despite it being small, it feels really long, and it feels like the weight distribution doesn't feel quite right. I don't know how I feel about the blade's aesthetic. I think the handle aesthetics are fine, if not, just the weight distribution just feels odd. Especially like with screw in, it absolutely 100% has a weight hotspot. This is obviously the same with the Prisma and the Prisma Pro. Rest in peace, Prisma Pro. And I was always like, I didn't like the Prisma. I had a Prisma V2, and I always had the weight screws out. With the Prisma V1, I was like, this feels fucking... I felt it felt bad, honestly. That I was like, without weights, it feels blade bias. With weights, it feels like I don't like its fucking... I didn't really like the Prisma V1 at all. Not its shape or how it felt and how it flipped. But hey, I mean, that definitely led to other things. And Machine-Wise has some really good products. I just feel like every time I flip a Fellowship blade that is not the Gaboon, because I do really like the Gaboon, even though it is certainly not for everyone. I like the Gaboon, but I flipped the Medusa Trainer V3, which I hear flipped basically the same as the Medusa live blade. I flipped an Empusa. Actually I have not flipped an Empusa. I flipped an Empress, which was like fine, but not like, I think by today's standards, it just didn't really stand out in ways that I was like hoping to. I was like, this is nice, but it's not a keeper. I feel like weight screws make aerials much easier. I say as I botch that. It's very satisfying when it clacks like that, though. Hognose is a resounding... The Hognose is a resounding, I think I might need to spend more time with it. It will possibly grow on me more. There are definitely Balisongs that I'm like, I don't like this at first. Like the Ibass, I was like, I don't know about this. And then I actually grew to really like the Ibass, despite it being not in my preferences. Like, I currently have a G10 bass, which is like what I liked about the Ibass, but like even more in my preferences. Hognose, we'll see. I feel like as I'm flipping this more now with the weight screws in, I am appreciating it more. It feels better than when I originally felt I was flipping it. Let's try Cherry Picker, but better than that. The nice thing about trainers is that you can flip like absolute shit and not have to worry about getting cut everywhere. Yeah, it does ladder nicely with and without weights. Like, I will say that, at least so far from what I can tell, with and without weights, it's a very different feel. But they're both valid. It's just odd. I don't know. I I still don't think I'd keep this, but it's not bad. I'm warming up to it. And if you did not have a very high budget and you were looking to expand your collection, this is definitely a pretty unique feeling Balisong that it does not feel so samey. I could not tell you if a Prisma Pro or this feels similarly. I've actually, unfortunately, never flipped a Prisma Pro, only the V2 back when it was 6061 aluminum. And they seem to have at least similar design elements with like the weight systems. The Hognose blade feels short, but the handles feel long. I don't know. It's just, at least I feel like how I feel right now is that the Prisma Pro is probably a, I feel pretty safe recommending that, even though I've never flipped it, just because I knew how the V2 felt. I know that you can get zippy inserts to adjust the blade weight. There are probably zippy inserts for this, but I'm just not like super sold on the Hognose as a Balisong first. Whereas like the Prisma V2, I flipped the V2. I was like, this feels like a Seraph, just not as good as a Seraph. And I had a Seraph, so I was like, I never really care about flipping this because it just feels like a budget Seraph, and that's a really good thing. So, you know, obviously a Seraph being like 3 times the price of a Prisma V2. The Hognose is not really anything that I feel like is like, I don't know. I want to like this more. Actually, here's some things that I think are just mild things to notice, but I think are cool. The texture, let's see if I can get this to focus. The texture on these edges is like this line pattern, and then it smooths out to be like, okay, well actually it's on the face specifically. Hello cat. There's like this sort of dotted texture, and then it becomes flat here, and then it becomes lines. I just want to be able to point that out because I think it's like a very nice subtle change in things that like you don't do that by accident. There has to be intentionality in the thought process of actually wanting to have those changes in the textures and the faces. And I want to be able to be like, Grant, this is a very cool thing, and I notice it, I appreciate it, I think it's cool. I just am not 1,000% sold on the Hognose. It's not really doing anything for me in a way that I'm like, yes, I need this. And I don't know. I want to be positive because again, it's competent. The more I flip this, the more I warm up to this. It is competent. It does check off the boxes of what you need from an aluminum Balisong. Price, machining, grip. Sounds pretty good too. I just don't love it right now, so we'll see if I warm up to this. But I guess this so far is my like first impressions of the Hognose. It's definitely not bad. It's sort of unique, but we'll see if I warm up to it. Hognose by Fellowship Blades. If you like this video, give it a like. Tell me your thoughts on the Hognose. This is the 1.5. If you've flipped both the 1.0 and the 1.5, let me know if you feel like it's a significant upgrade from the 1.0. How do you feel like it stands among the crowded market of the channel aluminum Balisongs? And let me know your thoughts, and check out the coffee in the description. So without further ado, hope you have a nice day. Happy flipping, subscribe, and yeah, get hydrated. Get some vitamins in you. Drink water. I'll do that right now, actually.